You know, one thing I wanted to quickly point out, I've not really checked any of the rankings or anything like that from previous years. But what's the one team that you don't see here? That you would think that you'd see here? Hmm? Any guesses? Yeah, Washington. That is the one team that you are not seeing here. So, I mean, I'm not sure where they were the past few years in recruiting, but if you're telling me that Kalen DeBoer took a Washington team with a recruiting profile here on this list, with the 32 seeds plus the 5 bubble watch, that's 37 teams. Washington is not in the top 37 teams in recruiting rankings. And again, this is like, I'm not sure exactly from previous years, but the talent at Washington that he took to the national championship game, it it's not surprising that they fell flat against a team like Michigan after going through that whole season. And I'm wondering, people are leaving Kalen DeBoer from Bama? Recruits are leaving? Kalen DeBoer, the guy who took technically what we would call a bunch of no names. People rag on Michigan for being 16th in recruiting rankings. Okay? And we're talking about Washington here. That's not even in this top 37 list. And recruits are leaving to go where? To go to Ryan Day? You know Ryan Day is one of the worst coaches against SP Plus? Like, the worst coaches with 4 and 5 stars. The worst coaches, one of the worst coaches against SP Plus. Can you believe that? Like, honestly. And the lure of money is, I guess, what's the song? If money makes a man change, we got to rearrange. Just what makes this world go round, this college football world go round. But we'll see, because usually when you start giving 19-year-old kids $500,000, $1 million, that's a bubble. Like in a housing bubble, a stock market bubble. We're in the nil bubble. And usually when the mania is at its highest, that's when it comes crashing down. Because they're already setting the stage up. If you watch my other one, where is this donor fatigue gonna come from in 2024? Yeah, when they're literally broke, that's where it's gonna come from. That's why the NCAA released its. That's why the NCAA released what it released with its proposal, where athletic departments can now sign their own athletes to sponsorship deals, because they know the collapse of NIL is coming. So yeah, let's see where it all ends up, because I don't know, you kids. Hey, I guess you're doing what's best for you. That's the excuse now. But are you really doing what's best for you? Like, the guy who takes what? I don't even know. I guess they would be like, I guess 40th. They'd probably be the next one up on the list, maybe 40th, 41, 40, 38, 39, 40, 41 to 45, 38 to 45 rank in recruiting. He takes that kind of recruiting profile and takes them to the college football playoffs, beats a team Texas with 5-star talent, and you think you're gonna go to like Ryan Day, who literally has been wasting talent. Like, when people say, "Oh, they're all this talent," it's like, yeah, okay, this is what Michigan's used to. Like, this is circa 2021. You had Trey that was just a rookie, a rookie freshman, and then there was another back. I can't remember who it was, but you got the Olave, Wilson, and Njigba, Stroud. Like, yo, I mean, come on. It's like, it's the same thing. It's Ohio State with so much talent and whatever, and they underachieved. Because Ryan Day is not a good coach. SP Plus proves it. My simulations were a better coach than Ryan Day. Simulated coach Ryan Day was AI coach Ryan Day was better than real Ryan Day. And you know what the funny thing is? Ryan Day has such a huge ego. I know that he was like, he would look at it and whatever, and he would think, oh, I can do better. I'm just going to go for it on 4th down in my own end zone against Maryland because we're that good. And what happened? He put up a whole struggle session that didn't even need to happen against Maryland. And then it's so crazy that, you know, like, people think like you have 2 games against before you have 2 games that you play against before you play against Michigan, and those 2 games are Michigan State and Minnesota. And just because you come out and look good against those 2 teams, that means that, oh, now you're clicking. Okay. But when Ohio State was struggling against Indiana, when you were struggling against all the other teams, oh no, they'll figure it out. But when Michigan goes into Penn State and into Maryland, into hostile territory, oh, they're slipping. Like, come on. Stop with the foolishness. The narratives are so biased and so it's so in your face now that you literally just have to be a homer or completely brain dead to actually like dismiss it without even like thinking, oh, this is normal. Like, you have to be brain dead now. Because I don't know, maybe it's just me and the way I think, and I can just dissect things from being an analyst, from working in banks and for IBM and things like that. Like, you know, you have to go and sift through a lot of data and a lot of bullshit. So, yeah, like, I'm sifting through the bullshit that is college football podcasters and a lot of the time anchors. Well, I can tell with the anchors because in corporate media, they're just pushing an agenda. And my whole thing is, I love ESPN. We have nothing like ESPN up in Canada. So, like, ESPN's coverage of college football, to me, I'm just ragging on ESPN because it could be 1,000 times better. That's all. That's all. But Disney is the fish rots from the head down. So if Disney's corrupt, it just affects ESPN and it affects their coverage. And now, like, nobody wants to watch Game Day anymore because instead of talking about, like, football and everything, it's all these fluff pieces. Like, okay, that's great. Like, thank you for all the fluff pieces. Can we, like, show football highlights and show... Before, that's what we used to show. When we used to talk about a player, it'd be like, yeah, this player is great. You know, we would do a little 30-second background story on them or whatever. But it wasn't like how it is now where you're, like, literally listening to 5 minutes of just, yeah, show me some highlights of the kid. Let's talk about football. We don't need to, like, I don't need to know every single backstory about every single player. You know what I mean? Like, it's great and all, but, like, sometimes, like, you know, a little bit of privacy is okay. A little bit of mystery is good. You know, like, girls like the mysterious guy. You don't have to tell me everything about a player. Just show, I want to see some highlights. I want to hear him talk about football. Because it's hard to, you know what it is? It's just hard to, like, listen to kids who have this, like, privilege talk about, like, yeah, the struggle. Yo, we struggling. People are struggling to make ends meet and everything. So, like, the little fluff pieces, they just don't work right now. We are going into recession. Damn near depression. Because you know why I say depression? We've never had $34 trillion in debt like this. With crippling inflation at the same time. That's depression. If they can't get rid of the inflation before the recession starts, it becomes depression. I've already given out all of my proof. Go through the past 2 videos. In this, you'll see the videos I put chapters in. Just go skip to the chapter that talks with Jamie Dimon and the collapse of nil. I predict shit. So I'm staking my claim now. 2024, collapse of nil. That's what I think is gonna happen. I'd be like, yeah. I'm thinking, I think that might be the thing. Collapse of nil. So yeah, let's see. Okay. Yeah. I just want to make that known with far as killing DeBoer, like, what are people thinking? Cause yeah. Recruits, come on, man. You guys have to do more. It's like you have to do more due diligence and like look behind the numbers, look behind the promises. Yeah, I don't care how much people leave. I don't. In the end, it really doesn't matter how much recruits that leave Alabama, because Alabama's going to be dangerous next year. This is the most talent Kalen DeBoer's ever had, and this guy's been like using duct tape and chewing gum to keep teams together and take them to the national championship game. And now he's at Bama? Yo. I would be, if I was the SEC, I'd watch out. Because you know what? People would think, oh, they don't play good defense or whatever like that. Or they don't have a good defensive unit. It's like, not really, like, they played good complementary defense for the talent that they had, and for the talent that they had. They played good complementary defense, and they were tough as nails. Like, truly some tough, gritty players on defense. A tough, gritty defense. Even with Michigan out-muscling them, from the second quarter to the third, second and third quarter, they played spirited football. But this is like the whole trap that Michigan puts you in, where for those 2 quarters, once they punch in them out, for those 2 quarters, you are expending all of your energy. And they just keep leaning on you. It's the whole boa constrictor from Joel Klatt. They just keep leaning on you, squeezing on you, leaning on you, squeezing on you. And the thing is with the boa constrictor, sometimes the more you fight, the worse it gets. The more energy you lose. That's the beautiful part about the boa constrictor analogy that Joel Klatt came up with. It's like the harder you fight against it, sometimes the more it works against you in your favor. So it's like you're in a bad spot with Michigan's defense, especially because I find where other teams can lean on your defense with their offense, Michigan with their defense is leaning on your offense, and that is rare. But that's what happens when you have like a Mason Graham and a Kenneth Grant. Like, those guys are beasting, and they will push your offense to the limits. And don't be fooled. Remember with Michigan that they did not have any transfers, especially on their offensive line. They've kept most of the players they've developed. So it's not like they really have to go into the portal for anything. Yes, they lost a bunch of 5th year and 6th year senior guys, and now we have 4th year senior guys, 3 and 4th year senior guys that are going to be stepping up. A lot of them redshirted, so this is going to be like, they're like they redshirted, so a lot of them are seniors now, and they're going to be first. This is going to be like redshirt junior, redshirt senior season. So they're facing grown men again. Some of them are seniors too, like Miles Hinton. So don't think that because grown men left that there's not grown men coming in. There's more grown men. Don't worry. And these guys look more beastly than the last set of guys. Like, I forgot who it was that mentioned it, but they were like, I'm looking on the field at the backup offensive linemen, and yeah, these guys you're like, oh gosh, thank God those guys are playing, because these guys look, one more year with Ben Herbert, oh no, Yeah, you think it's gonna be easy? Come on. These guys have been chomping at the bit to get out the field, get out there and hit people. You think that when they finally get their shot, that they're just gonna come out? They're gonna come out ready to blow people off the ball. You think Donovan Edwards just came back for nothing because he's gonna be running behind a freshman offensive line? Come on, man. You guys need to get focused. Do you guys even look at the depth charts and see who possible starters are? Like we probably again have another 6-7 guys that we can call on. So I don't know what you guys are looking at, man. Like honestly, it's like sometimes I think you guys just talk out of your ass and you don't even know because you don't really follow it. I know, I get it. You follow. For me, it's different where I follow college football, the whole college football, but because I'm editing rosters all day, I see the depth. There's a reason why Michigan had 99, 99, 99 to start. It's because the depth on the offensive line was stupid. So yeah, I don't know. Another year of these guys with Ben Herbert and with Sharon Moore now, and I'm guessing that Grant Newsom's gonna go up to become the offensive line coach, and he was a good offensive lineman. It's a shame that he got that injury and everything, but you know, it might just be for the best because now I think he's gonna be another great offensive line coach. We just are starting to breed a great coaching tree. And I'm glad that, you know what, we're not wasting time. We're just moving forward, and because we don't really have time to waste, especially with this new era of college football. And I'm thinking Kalen DeBoer is thinking the same thing up in Alabama. He saw the writing on the wall. In this new era of college football, you're not going to get away. I mean, I'm pretty sure moving forward, Washington's recruiting profile would jump a bit as they're not doing Pac-12 after dark nonsense, and they're on the East Coast more. But you have the chance to go from an unranked, technically, recruiting class to the number 2 ranked recruiting class. You know you have to take it. And I think they just got 2 more recruits as well, too. I'm not sure if it's for this year or for 2025, but they're still coming in. It's Bama. Trust me when I say kids are going to be impressed with Kalen DeBoer and the offense and the energy that he has. I've seen him when he was at Indiana. This Michigan can have the best defense in the world somehow at Indiana before with Don Brown. And this guy was finding ways to put the scare into Michigan fans. So, with 3 stars. So, again, this guy with 5 stars, if 20 players leave, as long as there's 50 players on the squad that are 4 or 5 stars, it's still going to be good. So, I don't know. Am I saying they're going to win the SEC this year? No. But don't think that just because they lost talent that this is somehow going to bother Kalen DeBoer. Because guys like Kalen DeBoer, programs like Michigan, they build talent. In the Big Ten, I find, they actually develop players. It's like, I find in the SEC, you go, you get your 5-star, it's like, oh, he's a 5-star. He's not really developed. He's a 4 or 5-star. Ohio State falls into this trap too. Has there been real development of Travion Henderson from his freshman to now his senior season going in? Not really. Minimal. JTT, the players, they don't take that level up. It's like they come into the program and they take just enough of a level up to become a starter, or they're a 4 or 5-star player, so they do become a star. But it's not like they become that what they used to become. What we used to know of Ohio State under Urban Meyer, under Jim Tressel, that type of Ohio State. So yeah, take that for what you will. But yeah, I don't know. My advice to recruits is stop listening to the words and start looking at the data before you make these decisions, because yeah, the collapse of NIL is coming, and you should have did your homework. So I hope you all pleased. I hope you're all happy with your decisions, and I'll just leave it at that. This has been another revamped rant from Max Powers, CFB. Why I have trouble talking, I don't know, but yeah, it's just one of the things. I'm just not used to talking. Like, when I talk, I don't even do a script. I don't even, everything's just off the cuff, whatever's coming to my head. It's like I have a topic in my head, I'll just talk about it. So if it's like if it feels like incoherent blabber, but I'm not gonna do this scripted like nonsense. Like, it's just too fake, it's too unreal. I'd rather be stumbling through my words, looking for words, and I don't think I'm doing that bad of a job at it. But I'd rather be doing that than this like scripted CNBC, ESPN reading off the teleprompt nonsense. I don't think fans are resonating with it anymore, so I'm not even gonna bother with that stuff. I'm just gonna speak what's on my mind, and if you feel it, you feel it, and if you don't, then I'd like to know why you don't. Sometimes debate is good, as long as it stays civil. So civil discourse, I've always welcomed. Try to get insulting, try to tell me I'm stupid, try to tell me on this, I'll bring that energy right back. I'm just saying. And I'll bring it back worse. Because you don't want to mess with somebody like me. Like, I'm telling you right now, I'm a smart guy, and my lips can move, and once they start moving in the opposite direction because you try and push me, I'll push back. And I'm just of the mind now where there's no point in letting little kids who haven't accomplished anything run amok and run their mouth. You never see me like really talk shit about football, like college football players, young football players individually as a football player. I'll talk about recruits as a whole, but I'll never single out a recruit or anything like that and talk shit about it. Even Kyle McCord, I didn't think he was that mid. I think he needed to grow a bit more and should have been getting a lot more reps if they were going to burn his red shirt. Like, tons of, like, they burnt JJ's rep shirt, and when they burnt JJ's rep shirt, JJ played in every single game. Meaningful snaps. Just bringing him in garbage time, McCord, that's whatever. You have to get him in meaningful snaps in the first and second quarter. You just get him a few series, get him a few snaps here and there. So you know what? He can get those bubbles, and you just keep doing it over and over and over again until he's ready to start. But Ryan Day didn't do that. And you burn a red shirt. It's stupidness. So yeah, I don't know. But was that me criticizing Ryan Day? Or me criticizing Kyle McCord? No. That was me criticizing Ryan Day and his coaching. Yeah, a grown man who should be held accountable, who somehow is never held accountable. It's always somebody else's fault. It's always this fault. But if I was a CEO of a company and something happens to the company, who has the responsibility? The CEO. That's what we always say. The CEO is the one who should know what's going on with the organization. Same thing that was going on with Jim Harbaugh. Yeah, maybe it definitely looks like Stallions was acting independently, but that doesn't matter because Jim Harbaugh is the CEO. He's responsible for everything the organization does. So when players aren't being developed, when 4 and 5 stars aren't really being developed like they should be, because they're not, they are not, then I'm gonna call out Ryan Day. But I hope Ohio State fans stay how they are. Please don't hold anyone accountable. Michigan fans love it. We do. We really do. So with that, signing off. Thank you very much. Hope you enjoy the content. Please like and subscribe. And again, if you have any thing you want to say, just let me know. Put it in the comments section. And I don't mind. I mean, just bring some civil discourse, bring some facts, bring some, let's start like some real debate, because I'm telling you, NIL is collapsing. So I hope players feel comfortable with their decisions, and it wasn't just for money. And I'm not singling any players out because it's league wide now. It's a part of the whole thing. So We saw what happened at Texas A&M. I hope, and I hope that you are all in your proper places that you want to be in, and it's more than just that you're getting a check. Because I can tell you now, the checks will stop flowing. I've already shown you proof. If you've been watching my other videos and you know who that guy is, that's why I don't like saying that he's that guy. Just look at the way they look at him. The man is telling Democrats to shut up and listen to Trump and MAGA. And they're like, oh yes, boss, please. There's nobody on the planet who can do that except him, because he is that guy. Okay? So, let's just get that thing sorted right now. Alright? This is Max Powers, CFB, signing out. Have a good week. And again, hopefully we all have a good 2024, but it's not looking pretty. So look at the mainstream media. They all just collapsed. Layoff after layoff. How is it that the LA Times fires their DC news branch, newsroom, their DC newsroom, in the middle of an election year? That's how you know it's bad. If that doesn't tell you it's bad where a newspaper fires their DC newsroom in an election cycle season year, you know something's wrong. Right? Okay. Enough said. Adios.